start the show by saying congratulations to the women's golf team at Kean University. They played in their first ever home match at the beautiful Galloping Hills Golf Course in Kenilworth, and they did it in winning fashion. They beat FDU Florham 434 to 445. Hannah Whittefield led the way for the Cougars with a score of 93. And speaking of Cougars, joining me now is a Kean University women's basketball star, Maddie Vaughn. She was recently named Defensive Player of the Year for the NJAC Conference, and here she is. Maddie, thanks so much for coming on.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Now, Maddie, you grew up in Roselle, New Jersey, not far from Kean University. How did you first get into basketball, and how did it lead you on a journey towards Kean University?
Um, it's so funny because I started off as a cheerleader, and once that came to an end, one day I got a call from my aunt. She was like, "Oh, I signed you and your sister up for basketball," and I was like, "Basketball?" It was just something that I just didn't think that I could do at all. And then next thing you know, I'm like playing, and I'm like, "Okay, like this is pretty cool. This is pretty fun." And then I started off in the eighth grade, so then I got into high school, and I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna make the team." And then one girl just like came up to me and was like, "Hey, like I heard you play basketball. Like, do you like mind just joining the team?" And I just was like, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." And that's when like my love and my passion for the game just like grew. And COVID had happened when I actually started to get better at the game. So I thought that okay, maybe this might have to come to an end. So I'd like focus more on like academics, finding schools like academically for me and better for me. And then my coach was like, "Why don't you just reach out to the Kean coach?" And he ended up doing that for me. And I sent them my highlight tape. And next thing you know, I'm here at Kean University.
That is a fantastic story. Now, who were some of your early influences growing up? Did you have any professional athletes or even family members you looked up to?
Yes, I heard a lot about my uncle who passed away before I was born. He was really a good athlete. But as far as like into like now, growing up, I was big on like watching college basketball. I loved watching Asia Wilson, Kalani Brown, Megan Gustafson. They're all in the league right now. I just love like growing up. I would like screen record their post moves and things like that. And I just remember like saying like, okay, I'm going to practice this. I'm going to do this in the game. Even though my footwork at the time wasn't the best, I had to really get better at my footwork. But once that happened, it was up from there.
Now, what's your relationship like with your head coach, Mandy King, who's been on this show? And how much has she meant to you during your journey at Kean University?
It's so ironic. I wasn't Coach King. I don't think was too fond of me my freshman year. You know, transitioning into being in high school and then going into college, you can be easily distracted by things that aren't good for your journey. And then once I realized, like, hey, I'm here for a reason, and I want to show Coach King that I'm here for a reason, it got better. We grew closer. Coach King is not afraid to tell me things that I need to work on, and every time I've worked on it, and I've been playing behind like some great post players, at least two or three, and she always found a way to like sneak me in there to get a feel of the game. I loved it. And then as time went on, everyone's time is all different. So I think seeing this year was definitely my time to show Coach King like, hey, like everything that I've done with throughout these years, like it's all gonna be worth it. And now like every day she just like believes in like she shows like she has my back, she believes in me. So we talk every day. She motivates me to be a better player. She was the one that seen in me even when I didn't. So
Well, it was all worth it, Maddie, and I'm sure the entire team is like a sisterhood. Are there any players you've developed a strong bond with during your time on the team?
I would say Brittany Graff and Jordan Keating. They're also this is also their last year as well. We knew like, hey, this is our time now, and we wanted it so bad. We like text every day, all day about the game, things we could work on, things we could get better at. Like we wanted the culture to be as close as possible, considering that there were a lot of adversities we had faced during the season, and we knew like if us three stayed together, then it would help the team go a long way.
Now, the team this year, I believe, was relatively young. I think you were the only senior on the team. Did a lot of the other players look at you as a leader and a role model?
Yes, I was a captain on the team, so I wanted them to look at me more as their friend instead of a captain. I wasn't necessarily sure how much of an impact I had on them until my senior night. They had like made this poster board for me, telling me how much I inspire them, and I helped them become a better version of themselves, and how I was just truly a light to the team. It definitely warmed my heart. It got me very emotional that day, and I was just like, wow, like these girls really do care about me as much as I care about them.
And Maddie, talk about some of the memorable games this year. Are there any that stand out for you?
Two of my most memorable, I would say, is our first game against Stevens. The last 4 years I've been here, we haven't gotten like a opener win. So it was also my like starting debut. I was very nervous. I didn't know what was to come. I was like, oh my gosh, just nerves, I would say. And we were like toe to toe throughout the entire game against Stevens. And then that second half, we came out blazing, and then our starting point guard had gotten into foul trouble, so then they ended up catching up, and then I had ended up getting the game-winning shot that basically closed the game. It was like, oh, like I that's when I knew that I could be better than what I thought I was in my head. It definitely was a confidence booster.
It's
But I would
great.
say the second most memorable game is our quarterfinal game. We had been through so much throughout the season, and Rowan was a team that we were like always very close to beating, but we couldn't get there. And it's hard to beat a team 3 times. That was our motive throughout that entire quarterfinal or playoff week. So we just knew exactly what we wanted, and we went out there and we beat them. And the joy from all of me, my teammates, and my coaches that we had, and when we realized like that game was ours, it was amazing.
Now, the $1 million question: what was your reaction to winning Defensive Player of the Year for the New Jersey Athletic Conference?
It's so funny. Coach King always asks us what is our like one of our goals like on the court that we want for ourselves, and I couldn't think of one at all. I was like, oh, I don't know, like give back to me. And I was in a summer league, and I basically had got I was the leader in blocks in the summer league. So then I was like, okay, Coach King, like I know what my goal is athletically for this year, and I just want to lead the conference in blocks. That was my only goal like going into here. And next thing you know, our last game, the sportscaster had said that I was like 13 in the nation in blocks, and like my dad was like, "Oh, you could possibly get Defensive Player of the Year," and I was like, "I doubt it because it's like I think that Defensive Player of the Year is usually like guard dominated." And then one day before I go to work, Coach King was just like, she just had like all smiles. She was like, "I can't hold this from you. I like you got Defensive Player of the Year." And I was very shocked. I didn't think that it was going to be me, considering it is guard dominated. And I was just like, I was very happy for myself. My dad seen it in me, and I was like, I don't see that happening for me. But once I got it, I was like, wow, like this really shows that like all your hard work is paying off. And I didn't do it for no reason, and it served a purpose. And I'm glad I got to do that for my senior year as well. So.
And Maddie, final question: how do you think you've grown, not just as a player, but as a person over your time at Kean University?
I would say that without basketball, I don't think I'd be the person I am today. So I think that the opportunities and the people that I've met throughout these 4 years has helped me grow as a person. I always wanted to be a light, outgoing person, so people can just feel like okay, like I can walk up to her and ask her. Like I just wanted to have that feeling that you can just come to me about anything. And I think that I became that person throughout these years, and basketball definitely helped me do that. I would say.
Great stuff. Maddie, Vaughn, thanks so much for taking the time. And again, a big congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Coming up, the 2025 Major League Baseball season is underway. Jonna Perlinger joins me to talk about our favorite teams, the New York Yankees and the New York Mets. Stay with us. Awesome. Maddie,